Thank you very much, Jared. Time now to talk boxing with the big night for Anthony Mundine, and joining me to chat all about it is Paul Upham. Paul, as always, thanks for coming in.
Great talk.
Let's get straight into it. Anthony Mundine is going to fight a 27-year-old named Gunnar Jackson from New Zealand. He's not only the second choice, he's the third choice for this bout because two blokes before him pulled out. Is this a fair fight?
Look, let's be fair to Anthony Mundine. He didn't cause this. Carson Jones was sick. They couldn't finalise a deal for another American fighter. So, look, it's hard at short notice, 7 days' notice, to get someone. So they brought Gunnar Jackson over from New Zealand. He was on a short list of fighters they were trying to get. So I'm not going to blame Anthony Mundine for that. Look, let's give him credit. He wants to fight regularly. He said he wants to fight 4 or 5 times this year. He's got a plan. On their best levels, you know, Mundine should win this fight. But as I always tell you in boxing, boxers have to be perfect all of the time. They can't afford one loss. It's not like a rugby league or an AFL game where you can afford a loss during the year and still win the premiership. If Mundine wins tonight, that's basically the end of his plan. If he loses tonight, that's the end of his plan for the year. He must win tonight.
Let's talk more about Gunnar Jackson. His last fight, cricket fans may remember this in the late 90s. He fought a bloke called Adam Hollioake, a 40-year-old former England cricketer. I'm sure a lot of Aussie sports fans will remember Adam Hollioake. Adam Hollioake beat him. He's a former cricketer. He can't be much chop, can he?
Look, he's had 18 wins, 3 losses, 4 draws. 4 losses and 3 draws. Look, he's an average professional. And as I said, he's not expected to win tonight. But this is his chance of a lifetime. He never thought he was going to fight Anthony Mundine. Who knows what he can do? Anthony Mundine wasn't expected to lose Garth Wood a few years ago, won the Contender Series. And we saw what happened that fight. He got knocked out. So in boxing, anything can happen on the night. Mundine cannot afford to take this fight lightly. He has to be at his best because also he wants to show the world that he is capable of fighting Floyd Mayweather. If he wants to get this big fight, he's got to show that style. He can't afford just to sit around for 10 rounds and work on points. We want to see him knock this kid out tonight.
You mentioned off the top that Anthony Mundine wants to fight 4 or 5 times in 2014. In boxing standards is a lot of fights. Explain why.
Look, his angle is to get the WBA world title. If he can win that world title, he could get on a short list to fight Floyd Mayweather. Now, if we look at the WBA rankings, you see Floyd Mayweather's a super champion. There's a new interim champion, the Cuban, Erislandy Lara, who recently won that title. And then behind them is Miguel Cotto and Saul Alvarez. Now, Mundine tried to make that fight with Saul Alvarez, the Mexican star, and they weren't interested at the moment. So Miguel Cotto is going to fight in June for the WBC title, so he'll come out of the rankings. It's possible that Alvarez won't want to fight Lara because it's a difficult matchup in styles. So if he declines that fight, that would put Mundine directly in line to get the fight with the Cuban, Lara. Tough fight for Mundine, but if he wins that fight, gets the fight and wins the fight, it will propel him onto a short list of guys to fight Mayweather. No one's saying that fight's going to happen right now. Mundine needs to cross a few bridges, but this is the plan. I can see in the crystal ball what Mundine's trying to achieve. And by fighting regularly, if Cotto comes out and Alvarez declines the mandatory with Lara, then Mundine, it gives them reason. Now, I know Mundine had a meeting with the WBA president, Gilberto Mendoza, in Australia recently, and they talked about what his career path would be for this year. And that's why it's important for him to stay busy and keep winning and look impressive. And I think it's a good tactic because Mundine really hasn't got any other angles to get into America at this stage. He's got to get that mandatory position. OK, speaking of winning, in the undercard to this fight, Quade Cooper, the Wallaby, of course, is fighting again. He's had 1 fight, 1 win. He's fighting a guy called Warren Tresider, I believe is how you pronounce his name. Can Quade Cooper fight? Let's see how much he's improved. Look, he's a novice. Great rugby union player, but he is a novice boxer. I'm interested to see how much he's improved since his last win, because clearly his skills weren't there. Fantastic athlete, great body on him, great power, but a novice in boxing. I want to see how much he's improved. I don't think they've picked too hard a fight. Tresider's only had 1 fight, as you said, 1 loss. Sure. So he's not expected to beat Quade Cooper, but it's interesting to see how he develops. As a boxing aficionado yourself, what's your take on these footballers turned boxers, just in general? Well, I was interested in Paul Gallen the other day. He's going to make his debut on the Gil Wood undercard on February 19th. He said, I don't want an easy fight. I want to test myself. They've got a young Kiwi that he's fighting who's experienced. He's had a few fights. I respect that from Paul Gallen. Look, Quade Cooper, no one expects him to be a great boxer, so there's a bit of star power there. And if you can bring more people in to watch the fight and they look at boxing for the first time and go, hey, I like that, hey, it's great for the sport. I'm for it. OK, let's talk about 2 of the most
arguably the most popular Australian boxers going around, Garth Wood and Daniel Gill. They're fighting in Sydney on February 19. You'd like to think that that's a big draw card, isn't it?
Look, it's a great fight. Both have got fantastic work rates. It's going to be a very entertaining match. On paper, Daniel Gill should win the fight. Now, he is the more experienced professional, the former world champion. He's trying to get that big world title fight again this year. He must win this fight. He can't afford to lose Garth Wood. But Garth Wood, his whole career, he's been written off. He's taken every opportunity. He beat Mundine, knocked him out. No one gave him a chance. He wasn't even the contender series. He got in at the last minute and won that. He's an underdog, but you can't write Garth Wood out. I think it's a great fight. Two guys are going to bring a lot to the ring on the night.
Beautiful stuff. Paul Upham, as always, mate, thanks for coming on.
Great to be here.
Good man.